Well, thank you everybody for letting me have this opportunity to do kind of a practice lesson. So I'm not licensed yet, but I'm working on it and still doing my classes, and you'll probably see a lot of me, you know, just observing for the rest of the term, and then starting next term I'll kind of slowly be doing more and more. So my name's Sarah Craig. I just gave you a little bit of info about myself. My degrees are in journalism and elementary education, although I've been teaching preschool and ECFE for about 10 years, and currently am teaching pre-K, so like 4s and 5s. I'm mom to 5 kids, so they range in age from 16 to 30. I've got 3 teenagers, so I'm very much in that mode right now. And yeah, like I said, I'm working on my license and master's degree in parent and family ed. So this is an important part, so thank you for letting me be here. I wanted to talk a little bit, actually we're going to start with the challenge. So this is going to require you to get up. So sorry if you're comfortable and not wanting to do that, but you know, it is optional. But you might have seen up here I have different zones, and I'm not going to explain them because I want you to have the experience of trying to sort through different emotions and put them in a zone. So it's not a test, but it's more about the experience of doing something without knowing, and it kind of puts you into your child's place a little bit. So I'm going to pass out some feeling cards, and I think we can each have, let's see, 3. And I had the answers on the back, and I had to black them out because so as soon as you get these, you can come up and start putting them where you think they would go. Oh, I got a lot more actually. Oh, yeah. Do you want to do it too? Okay, thank you. So we'll just take a couple minutes to It's a blind test for everybody.
Oh, it really is.
It is. It really is a blind
Okay.
test. So don't hate me for
I
it.
said I don't know. Maybe someone
She
else.
just thought you weren't
I get
paying
it, that
attention.
you don't.
Extra challenge.
And she was helping, hoping to help them get settled here.
There's only a few choices for you.
Alright.
We all think.
Well, awesome. So my question for you is, what did that feel like, the experience of not knowing the categories and putting them up?
I just color coded.
You color coded?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. By what criteria?
Blue sad,
Okay.
green good,
Okay.
yellow dangerous-ish,
Dangerous-ish.
and
Caution.
red,
On your way to dinner.
red bad.
Red bad. Okay. Anybody else want to say how the thought process around it?
I would have loved lunch.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it's not quite fair, but.
And kind of like you said, you kind of see red as an adult, but that's a stop, or
Yeah, and
green
it
is
is.
go, and
It is
yellow's
a
like
stop sign.
yield or cautious, or, and blue is
What's left over?
what's the what's
Right.
It could be blue skies or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just guessing.
Yeah, anybody else? Wanna say what they were thinking as they did it?
Doesn't mean it. It means differently than other people. You start by function.
Angry and mad, and those definitely felt red to me.
Oh.
And then I had,
It does say red zone.
You're right, but
Could be
sometimes
that.
he like thinks about sorting in a different way.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
he doesn't sort by color.
right, the interesting thing
Oh.
about being colorblind is that,
Brain is just
like, I can see colors and sometimes differentiate between them, but it's never my go-to. Where some
Yeah.
people just naturally sort things by color, I don't do that. And some people can see, they can look at something and then later remember what color it is, and I won't do that unless I explicitly like try to recall it. So I'm always
Right.
categorizing things and evaluating things based on everything aside from color.
Everything else. That sounds like an extra challenge, maybe. But I suppose you're used to it.
So,
Yeah. All right, so, what do you think your child would feel like if they did this? If they had the same, task?
I think they think it's harder than what we had, cause we have like the experiences leading up to this.
Yep, a lot more.
I agree with that. 'Cause the way I associate my emotions with color, very much like how he explained it, you know. But I've been through my whole life dealing with my emotions, so.
I only have green or red in my one.
Okay.
All or
No in
nothing.
between. Anybody else wanna think about how their child, I know, the infants, of course, are going to be doing something like that, but maybe if they're like 2 or 3 or 4.
Yes, I mean, I didn't really look at the picture, I just read the word. And our kids are not gonna do that.
Yeah.
Maybe they might associate just the colors more, like, oh, I like red, I'm gonna put it on red.
That's what I would do, right?
Like that's my favorite
I
color.
like
Sanders
blue,
are too.
I'm gonna put it on blue,
Yeah.
or I can reach this one.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like Violet would just be, she's 4, so she would just be asking questions the whole time
Oh,
about it.
mhm.
And Simon
Yeah.
being 2, he would probably like hone in on one that was his favorite and would try to stick all of them to the same one. And stick them on there and he'd pull a couple off and put a few on.
Get 'em
Kinda
all
how
in
I
one.
envision things going.
Okay, well, let's go through, what these zones are. So the blue zone is sad, exhausted, bored, tired, and let's see.
Are you saying those are
Not-
right?
These 4 are correct.
Incredible
Yes,
work,
yes,
everybody.
way to go.
Wow.
Yep, so this is when your body's, feeling low, tired, yeah, I know that feeling in the morning. It's also sick
Yeah.
and the other one is, just have to look at my cheat sheet.
Maybe ready to learn, since
No.
your kid has nothing else to do.
Let's see, exhausted, sad, bored, sick, tired, and hurt. Okay. So hurt kind of goes along with that, cause if you're hurt, you're pretty down. And then the green zone is kind of the optimal zone for learning, or you're ready to go. So, happy, calm, not excited, good, ready to learn, and not silly. So the other 2 that will go into that one would be proud and, good listener, yes, good listener. So when I do this with my preschool class, we like to say the green zone's where we learn the best. So we always kind of try to get back to the green zone. That doesn't mean you have to be in the green zone all the time. Of course, we're gonna have the other emotions, but as far as learning, the green zone is kind of key. And then the yellow zone is, I mean, it's similar to the brain states. It's more of like the emotional zone, but a little bit heightened. So we have, not terrified, but nervous, excited, silly, and then, frustrated. Right, yeah, frustrated, and, let's see, terrified would be here. Scared, and frustrated, and confused. So there's kind of a lot of different, like, kind of just slightly heightened emotions. So like even silly, you kind of think as like, oh, that's great. But sometimes, you know, they can get too silly and it might not be great for learning. So, so we try to get back into the green zone. And then the red zone is like survival state, basically. So that's when we tell kids they need to stop. So, angry, mad, aggressive, terrified, yelling, and mean are the ones for that. So I've got, I cleaned out, yeah, where did it go? I went the wrong way. There we go, okay. So I have a handout that I think is good for kids, and you can bring it home, and you know, if your child is ready, this is usually for like ages 4 and up, but it also goes through like adults. So there are times when I think, what zone am I? I'm in the yellow zone, so I need to simmer down and get back into the green zone, especially since I've been having to study so much. You know, I just have to say like, okay, I really just need to be in the green zone. So what can I do to get back to that zone? So the reason why we're talking about this is because of being able to regulate your emotions is a really important skill for school, like all throughout the years. So, so the first step is we need to learn the words for emotions. So even on there, they can point and say, this is how I'm feeling. They need to hear the words. So I'm sure you guys have talked about this, saying you are yelling, you look like you're feeling mad. So that they can put the word with the feeling of what they're experiencing. And then also like, you are crying, you are sad. So that just kind of gives them the words, and the more they hear them, the more they're going to be able to use them instead of, you know, stomping their feet or being aggressive with their siblings. And then the next step is understanding those emotions, showing a picture of how they're feeling. So pictures are great for kids if they're not talking a lot. If you have different pictures of emotions, they can just point and say like, you know, which one are you feeling? Are you feeling hungry or sad? Or, you know, are you feeling mad or nervous? So hearing those, because sometimes it's hard, like I did my little tangle of emotions. Whoop. I need to get used to this. I'm not used to presentations, but you know, that's just a really big part of like entangling those emotions, because when they're little, they're just all kind of mixed together. They have no idea what this feeling might be. So helping them get those words is really helpful. And then after that, regulating emotions. So moving from one zone to another. So if your child's in the red zone and it's bedtime for the want them to get into the blue zone, what could you do to help them get there? So, so then we've got a few discussion questions. And I like to think about this as a toolbox. So things that you can kind of list, like, what can I do in those situations? So, so can you think of any of how to get your child from one zone to another that you currently do or you're thinking about?
We add water or fresh air to any situation.
Okay.
That's the recipe.
You've got your two?
Yeah.
Awesome.
A bath, we're going outside,
Play with water
we're gonna
outside.
put water in the sink, we're gonna,
Yeah.
anything like that.
Yeah, awesome. So does that get you from the red to the blue, or just like from maybe a heightened state
I
to
think
a
it
calmer
works
state?
for any of them.
For any of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Give it, I mean, depending on the situation, like if the underlying issue is hunger, then we'll just like eat a snack outside.
Oh,
Or
right,
something like
combine
that.
the two.
Yeah.
Or a
That's
smoothie
awesome.
in the bathtub. Or I take the kids hiking a lot,
Oh,
and they'll
nice.
complain, like, my legs are tired, all I have to do is give them an apple, and then we just keep going and go another mile.
And they will eat the whole apple.
Like, Simon will get seeds in the floor.
Wow. That's so great that you figured out some tricks that work with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Violet gets red zone at night when she's
Okay,
tired.
okay.
And Steven is really good at calming her down, and it is like, in her bedroom,
Yeah, it's low sensory environment.
sound sheen on,
Mm-hmm.
nobody else around,
Okay,
read some stories.
great. Anybody else think of things that they do or they might wanna try, to get them from one zone to another?
I think we try it, like the playfulness stuff, like when the kids are in the red zone, like being playful and silly, getting to get them out of that
Yeah.
and ready. Usually it's when we're, coming to ECFP, if they're angry, it's like, well, we need you to calm down.
Right, yeah.
So we'll try and like lighten the mood to get them out of that, to get ready for the next thing.
That's awesome. Is there any like particular like ritual you do when you're playful?
No, well, it just depends on what their interests are.
Yeah.
At the time, so
Right. Just
whatever their
situational.
favorite toy is or
Yeah.
activity, like Freya loves Play-Doh, so it's like, well, you have 5 minutes of Play-Doh time.
Mm-hmm.
Just make it happen. Play-Doh makes her happy in any situation.
Right. Nice. Good old Play-Doh.
I'll sing little songs too, or
Oh,
turn
okay.
on music, that helps. Not for the red zone, but for the other.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Any other ideas?
All I know is it's really hard.
Yeah.
To monitor red zone.
Yes, definitely.
I think food is a good,
Oh, yeah.
good thing to try, but then it's, she always wants candy. You know, it's like, let's try an apple, like, I want a sucker, and then it can kind of build if you don't give them the sucker, so then it becomes even more difficult to get them to, especially with Halloween and all the stuff that we've had, so it's really hard.
Yeah, holidays coming up.
It's usually the answer for like food.
Food is good for the
Give
kid.
them anything to eat and he changes that.
Yeah.
We were talking about the emotional states in the class I did on Tuesdays.
Oh.
And I was saying that anytime my kids are like here in the red zone or in their like survival state, it's almost always because they're hungry or tired. Like,
Or cold.
or cold.
Or too hot.
Yeah.
But
It's the
it's like-
physiological stuff.
their basic functions are disrupted, and then the only way you can truly fix it is to feed them or put them to sleep.
Mm-hmm. Kind of go through that list. Are they hungry? Are they tired? Are they sick? That kind of thing. That's, yeah, that's great. At least to rule those out. You know, like, okay, I gave them food and they're still crabby. everybody.
Have you tried eating
Then-
food in the back?
Oh, in the back. That,
Try that
that,
one.
There's always a smoothie in the back.
that sounds like magical.
Yeah.
I think routine helps too.
Oh, yeah.
You know, if they're in that red zone at night, it's like, well, hey, you know what's next, like, we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna go have our bath, and we're gonna get ready for bed, we're gonna brush our teeth, you know.
Yeah.
Like that helps get through that too, I think, just
Mhm.
having that same routine. and
Yeah.
You know, it's like, okay, not gonna win this battle, this is what's next, so.
Does anybody use a visual schedule at home? So like pictures to like say, like we're gonna do this first and this next?
That time in morning routine. Sometimes we don't adhere to it, but we try, because then sometimes when they're like actively, oh, I get to go do the next one, it's like, oh, okay, get our jammies on, and then I'll brush my teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's kind of chaotic, so it's hard to
Yeah.
just kind of stop and do all that. Maybe baby's crying, it's like, it's just hard to focus.
Mm-hmm.
Put it all in like a symmetrical order. It doesn't always go in the same order, cause
Right.
it's like, usually potty's the last thing, cause you don't wanna do it.
Well, that's great. So did you guys make those cards?
Yeah, my wife just
Your
put
wife
it up,
did.
and then it's got like, it's kinda like what those are.
Awesome. Yeah.
You stick it up there.
Are we
Works
still
for
good
me.
on time?
Yeah, we'll wrap it up in the next couple minutes.
Couple minutes, okay. All right, well, you can just think about how you help yourself as a parent, because we were talking about triggers and they're just part of raising kids. And so getting yourself from, you know, zone to zone, I think is helpful to think about what helps you. And then, so like I said, the green zone, like when we use this at school, it's the optimal zone for learning. But all zones are okay. So it's, you know, as humans, we're gonna be mad sometimes, silly, we're gonna have all these emotions. So we don't wanna like say, oh, that's bad, or, you know, it's a challenge, but all zones are okay. And then, just for a little challenge this week, think of one way or tool to help your child move from one zone to another. And then as a parent, one tool to help yourself through the zones. So, yeah, that's it. Thank you guys, thank you so much.
Actually, really nice having people, we got it right without.
You guys did awesome.
Yeah, we just
So-
felt like